Call the meeting to order. And okay, Pledge of Allegiance, all rise. Hand over heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
Yes. God bless everyone.
Usually Adam calls roll, so
Right.
feel free, Daniel.
We did receive two notifications that two members weren't going to be here today. So let's start with roll call. Captain Rod Malone.
Here.
Chief Cheyenne Mall. Am I saying that right? Shane Mall.
Shane Mall, yeah.
Captain Jay Christian.
He won't be here, he's in training.
Okay, Michael Greenwald.
I'm here.
All right. Scotland Rober is not here. Nick Bercuda, Vice Chair Charles Hightower,
I'm here.
and Chair Rick Loeffler.
Here. Okay, has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah.
So we have a quorum, though, right?
We do have a quorum. Any questions or comments on the minutes?
Move to approve.
Oh, just a real quick one. I told my name was misspelled in there one place, but apparently the minutes are being recorded now by not you, I guess. It's being done from the audio recording, so there's bound to be a few things in there. And then there was also a bag under the bed comment from the tsunami people. I don't think anybody knows what a bag under the bed was. I think she meant go bag.
Go back,
Good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
anyway, my comment was they ought to replace bag under the bed for tsunami with go bag.
Okay.
Because what
So
could,
Natanya wouldn't do that. You would just bring that up
You would make a
here.
motion and then.
okay,
So
I would move then that the minutes be corrected for, and it not corrected necessarily, but the addition, clarification what bag under the bed is, it's a go bag, and then Hightower,
With corrections.
section 9, correct last name spelled.
So, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, with that, is there any other comments on the minutes?
Nope.
We have a motion?
I move.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Oral and written communications. Do we have any previous cards or anything for oral communications?
I'm sorry. I'm turning it on.
No, we haven't
Okay,
received.
anybody here that is here to address the,
I'm happy to sit and listen in. I'm representing Truman Benedict Elementary PTA.
oh, okay,
in our
very,
recent lockdown.
okay, very good. So,
I have just a quick update for the committee. We have Tri-Cities Races. Matt?
sure, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I know many of you, I don't believe we've met, but
You've been lucky.
well, my luck's run out. But happy to meet you now, Michael. I'm Bill Gertinger. My call sign is KM6SLF, and I'm the technical director for Tri-Cities Races, serving San Juan Capistrano, Dana Point, and San Clemente. I'm a resident here in San Clemente. Served on a city committee, much like you guys did a couple years ago. And we have exciting stuff moving forward. We've got substantial digital emergency data network equipment already in hand, purchased, programmed, ready to install in Dana Point. The San Juan Capistrano Community Center is linked up. Dana Point City Hall and EOC will be linked up no later than this summer. And we are speccing out a repeater for Tri-Cities Races use. And all that's going to go a long way towards enhancing our regional capabilities to provide emergency communication services for whatever reason they may be needed. At the budget workshop going on upstairs, some favorable language occurred that makes me optimistic that San Clemente may be getting ready to start doing their part of the work needed to make sure that Tri-Cities Races is fully operational in the entire Tri-Cities area. This committee supported a project, I think it was 2 years ago and then again a year ago, and hopefully that'll be moving forward this summer. But I wanted to thank you guys for your prior work. If you have any questions for me, I promise to be brief. That concludes my update.
Thank you. I was just up, I walked into the budget meeting to get an agenda, and I was called to the podium because Races was being discussed right at that moment. Now, see, I've told you I'm not a lucky person. And stepped up and talked about some of the things we talked about at previous meetings, and it appears they're going to budget the item. So that's really good news. So thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, with that, reviews and recommendations, we go to the care ambulance performance measures, and who's gonna,
Did the lady from Truman Benedict visit? Did you want to speak? I didn't quite.
I think we're not quite ready yet, but for this meeting, there'll be more, correct?
sure, oh, they're
This is
every
the-
month.
This is
Yes.
a public forum there.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, but you don't want to get on, okay.
No,
wanna-
I don't need to be on record just
Okay,
yet,
okay.
no, thank you.
Okay, so are you doing the care performance measures, is that?
I think Dick was doing that and Scott, so yes, and I think Dick invited somebody from FLAC
Right.
to discuss about that. And yeah.
So I'm here from FLAC. My name is Vishal Raj. I go by Raj. I'm the Orange County Division Manager, and I was approached by our governmental affairs department, asked to speak about general questions. So I just came here to speak as hopefully a person who can answer general questions.
Okay.
Did you have some questions you wanted to ask on that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now's the time.
Okay, well, I read your contract, and I would love to have a contract like this with all my customers, okay? Because it's all give me money, and I'm not gonna do anything about performance that I can see in your contract. Maybe I'm not a lawyer, but in my business, we serve customers, and our contracts with them guarantee 98.5 performance, okay? Or we pay a fine. All right, and I mean, some of them are substantial because some of our customers are $500,000, $1 million a month with us. Okay, and I don't see anything like that in your contract. And going back, I know Scott and Nick went over the Code 3 responses, and you folks are at 90%. And their number came out to 86.47. I did the last half of 21 and the full 22, and I got 81.35. Okay, and on Code 2, which is supposed to be 100%, they got 97.2. I got 96.65. So I mean, if somebody had, I don't know, I can't say, I would have written this contract a lot differently if I had to do the negotiating with you guys, and there would be specific things you had to hit, or it cost you money, because that makes it a lot more conducive for you to hit the numbers, okay? But there's nothing in this contract like that. So I just want to know what you folks think that, a fix is.
Let me just
Okay.
interject there too. I think part of it is the response time that you're providing us, and we look at that, compare that response time with what's in the contract as a goal, and you're not meeting it. In the past, I know there was some conflict or issues with coordination with the Orange County Fire Authority, but that's well in the past. So if I think Mike is saying, and you've said there's some things back then that you could do. So our general question is, what have you been doing to improve your response time? The contract's important, but right now, what are you doing to reduce that response time, Code 3 and 2, and for the city of San Clemente? Or what can you do, I guess?
No, honestly, all fair questions, 100%. And yes, there's language in the contract that says best effort and so on and so forth. Currently, we have a 90% for Code 2 and 90% for Code 3, which is the requirements.
Okay.
Our Code 2 response time compliance is up into the month of April, which I made sure I checked the data before it came, is in the 97 percentile. Our Code 3 for the month of April we have been able to meet the 90 percentile coming into this month. Now,
What about the first 3 months?
the first 3 months we are at, as you said, we are still above the 95 percentile for Code 2 responses, which the system was built in for that. Our Code 2 responses in the city of San Clemente is meant for what the system would add, the system for Code 2 responses for Orange County is made upon the precedent of a 10 to 15% Code 3 upgrade, or Code 3 response. Now currently, since the fourth quarter of 2022 and the first quarter of 2023, there has still been that increase in Code 3 responses. Now, systemically, what we are seeing is primarily what we're working on is staffing. 100% staffing. San Clemente in itself will always be staffed, no matter what. San Clemente will always have their 2 ambulances staffed, no matter what.
Aren't we different than some cities? You actually backfill, but our contract says you will have 2 available.
You will always have 2 available. San Clemente, San Clemente is a priority, and they'll always have 2 units filled with 4 EMTs. And they're all both housed in-house with OCFA. Now, regional support that we do our best to provide now could have been impacted by our staffing, but I would like to say that last year we hired 800 employees, and this year we're on pace to hire 1,000. Now, that has been our main and primary focus to provide support to the system. We've also been able to work with OCMS on lowering what we call our hospital wait time, so that we can get the units back in service now. What we've been focusing on primarily is working in adjunct with them. Now, Big Mission is an amazing hospital. They do an amazing job getting our units in and out. But with COVID now coming down and us going into the summer, we feel that the call volume and where we're moving forward with will be able to aid, and everything else should get us on the uptick is what we're at right now. So primarily for what we've done, it would be staffing. And systemically, I would hope that we'll be able to be in a position where this contract was initially signed with a 10 to 50% code 3 response or upgrade instead of the 28 to 30% increase that we've seen.
What did you say the code 3 response time was for this most recent quarter?
April or,
For this last quarter, yeah. I don't think we have that data.
yeah, I need to.
No, we had it last month, and I thought I pulled it out, and I didn't.
That's quite an improvement if that's,
And I will say right now as well, just looking at the data, our code 3 upgrades have diminished. So our code 3 upgrade responses have gone down. Our average response time to a call in the city of San Clemente is 7.7 minutes, 7.4 minutes. So that is our, and it's definitely something, I understand it does say best effort in our contract, but we take great pride in providing service to the city. 100% take great pride in doing our best to provide it.
well, besides staffing, what other issues are there? I mean, the dispatch, is the dispatch giving you enough information to get out there quickly to, there are critical cases and they're not critical cases. Is that being done properly or adequately, do you think?
I believe
Because,
so.
the critical cases, you need to get there fast. The other ones, you can kind of take your time.
So I can't speak on behalf of how we're dispatched because we're actually dispatched through OCFA.
Right.
Currently at this moment, I don't see any issues or any.
They're dispatched, yeah, the same as our fire engines, so that same, as I spoke to before, that call taking, get it out quick, but they get dispatched at the same time as us essentially.
And we talked last time, remember that application where the dispatcher can actually get on the cell phone for the individual, it's called 911, and so the dispatcher can see what's going on, even though the person's confused and everything. It just gives you more awareness of what's going on. That might help you and Raj over here too. So that's, I don't know, you heard about that technology, but your ambulance people could have a phone, they could see what is happening at the site and make a judgment now. What do I need to put in my ambulance to get there and serve this person? And make it more effective. May not affect response time. Only these guys can affect response time because you've got the dispatch responsibility.
Right.
So that's something.
Yeah.
Staying on the data issue, because I'm trying to, because Scott Rober, who's not here today, but we had a conversation, and he was wondering why the OCFA data and the ambulance data don't appear to line up. And so he was asking if we could get the raw data. I'm not sure what that means. What is besides raw data?
I think maybe Scott ought to follow up with an email to the 2 of them and
Yeah,
tell them exactly what he wants.
and because he knows about all this too, the nomenclature and everything. So if we get off an email to you from Scott Rober, would you guys be able to perhaps address that
Yeah,
question.
absolutely. Yeah, because we have each other.
I don't think he was insinuating anything. He was just wondering how it all comes about. So, okay, I'll contact
We
Scott.
work very closely together.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that's perfect.
I will contact Scott and have him talk to you guys directly and figure out what the thing is.
And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the fact that we have ambulances here in San Clemente, okay, because I'm no spring chicken, so you never know when I'm gonna need
You'll be
one.
seeing him soon.
Yeah. Especially working with him.
Oh.
But, again, I think when you talk about performance, you have to live to the performance, and if you don't, there should be some mechanism where the city is either reimbursed or, we do something, okay, or we get a better action plan to, make sure that we're on time the next time. Okay?
Understand, sir.
Yeah, I think the city needs to look again at how they contract
Right.
these folks too, on the right terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so currently with the city, San Clemente, but correct me if I'm wrong, San Clemente units do not provide regional support, and they say primarily the city of San
No, I
Clemente.
think that's
Correct,
San
yeah.
Clemente. So one of those efforts we definitely put into account. So I understand,
Yeah.
sir.
Well, if they don't have any place to park, they can park at my house.
Okay.
We'll really get that code 3 time it down. So,
Any other questions for
Raj,
Emma? Yeah. Well, thank you for coming. I really, really appreciate it. It's good to hear something firsthand, and we appreciate it. And you will be getting a follow-up email and whatever you can supply. That would be great.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much.
thank you, sir.
Okay, marine safety performance measures. Gotta really scrutinize these.
Thank you very much.
I know in the past we've gone over this just once in a year. So are we doing this like every quarter now?
I think we're supposed to.
Okay.
We've only done it once a year in the past as
Okay.
we weren't meeting our work plan.
Yeah, well, it's pretty simple. I mean, I could go over it, but it has it in front of you. I can tell you that October 5-year average, we were down from years past as far as like attendance, and down in November and up a little bit in December. So outside of that, the rescue counts, we're up with rescues in October, right on average with 10 is about the average, and 1 rescue in December is the 5-year average, and we get 0. So, and it's still consistent with the 0 drownings. So.
I have 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm just curious, like, obviously, like December, when you have 930 visitors per lifeguard, that's because the number of lifeguards is way, way down, right?
Yeah, correct.
The staffing.
Right. So, yeah.
And I'm just curious, like in July, what's the number of visitors per lifeguard? Do you remember?
Now off the top of my head, I mean, I can pull it up for you.
Okay, but it's obviously a better ratio, I would assume.
Yeah.
Probably more in the 700 area. Okay, and presence rescues without drowning. Oh, always 100%. Do you want to? I think a couple of weeks ago, didn't we have a floater?
We had a night call out for unconscious male next to a pier,
Okay.
and it was someone who had passed.
What would it appear to be somebody that swam off the beach?
No, he had a jacket and regular shorts on.
Oh, okay.
So
Maybe didn't pay the full fare.
not sure of
Okay, but it wasn't a beach off the beach related.
not to our knowledge. No.
All right. Awesome, very good.
That was on May 4th.
And Rob,
just
so
real-
it should be
So
work.
so for that, this is during lifeguard operation hours, 0 drownings, right? So when we're physically there working, so people commit suicide, jump off the pier, or a smuggling incident where someone drowns, or outside of our operation hours, that's where the 0 drownings comes in.
Mike had a question?
Oh, no, I just want to tell Rob, it's just we don't want you to be bored at the meeting, so.
Yeah, well, no, I was kind of shocked when I opened this up. It was just a few hours before coming here. I was like, performance measures. I thought we already reviewed this.
And is there some update on some new equipment you just received?
Yeah, I mean, you want me to give my update
Absolutely.
for everything, or
Well, I
are we
mean,
done with the performance measures?
I think we are.
Okay. So, yeah.
Zero drownings is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Really good.
And on that, it's still, and since the last time we were here, still 0 drownings. We had 15 rescues since our last meeting, 308 prevents, 100, almost 1,200 public eds, 20 first aids, 1 OCFA call, and 439 ordinances. Attendance for the last month since our last meeting was 138,500. We've had surf has been really good for about a week and a half. Surf up to 6 to 8 feet, air temperature low 53 up to 69 on May 13th. Typically that was a weekend, so we saw summer-like crowds and scrambling to get staffing. Normally we just have 10 people, scrambled to get 15, so we had 8 towers open. Water's been barely at 59 and usually starting off at 60 and going up to 65, which is a welcome since it was 52 about 6 weeks ago. First thing we had, Adam's not here, but we had some transients come up to our headquarters asking for bus passes, so we contacted Troy with the homeless.
Sam?
And he was,
our Troy.
Yeah, our Troy. And he came and provided them some bus passes. April 27th, I had some friends playing volleyball down at Lost Winds and gave me a call and said there was a dog that was a pure distance out that got stuck in a rip. So sent a lifeguard down there his first day back after about a year, and then the dog owner was a 14-year-old who had clothes on and wasn't a very good swimmer and was worried about her dog, and so she went out and she was about pure distance out. So I sent 2 lifeguards down there, Harbor Patrol. By the time they got down there, they had already brought him in. April 28th, we had the Casa slope failure. I happened to drive in after a meeting and noticed a little bit of dirt moving and parked my truck and ran inside and said, "You guys, let's get your vehicles out of here, block off the emergency access for the beach trail," and then we all know what happened after that. They are currently have some tractors and they're grading and moving dirt on the slope right now. So there's a lot of traffic down there. The next thing happened on April 30th, 7:14 in the morning. We had a Ponga on the boat, or Ponga on the beach down at Mariposa. Supposedly 12 to 15 jumped off and ran through the tunnel, went up into a van and on the freeway. Called Border Patrol, had them come down, and then they contracted out to have the boat towed. May 4th, we had that night call out that we just spoke about. May 12th, we had about 60 kids out at Lost Winds drinking, so we had sheriffs come down there and assist with that. Tuesday at the council meeting, got a proclamation for National Beach Safety Week, make awareness of the dangers of the ocean as we lead into the summer season. Primarily, rip currents account for about 96% of our rescues. So that was great to get that message out. And National Beach Safety Week started yesterday and runs through Memorial Day and basically kicks off the summertime. Let's see. Then, as Rick was talking about, we got a brand new Jeep. It's red, so don't get shocked. It's not Shane driving on the beach. It does say lifeguard.
Not yet.
He's starting to put OCS.
He asked for a spare set of keys.
Yeah. So that's been in the works since even before the new fiscal year. So I've been working with Fleet in June and just trying to get those things on the beach. It's been almost 11 months to get one. We ordered 2. So the second one hasn't been delivered yet, and they have to outfit that. So right now we have a yellow one and a red one. We got a couple of new personal watercraft supervisors trained. They went up to Huntington Beach and got trained last week. That was good training with some pretty decent surf up there, 6 to 10 feet. So we're excited about that. This weekend, obviously Memorial Weekend, full summer staffing, have about 26 people working. And then right after that, June 5th starts our junior lifeguard program. So it's straight ahead.
Are you gonna get the new Jeep by the summer?
This is the second one. I was told it was going to be delivered on the 18th, and then have to outfit, and that takes a few weeks, and it has to go up to control and get the radio. Other things that are going on the beach is we all know about the restrooms at the base of the pier where they get burnt down, right? They have a contractor that's going to start supposedly beginning of June, and that project will be full blast going through summer and will last 4 to 5 months. So it's
4 to 5 months.
yeah, so it's like the 405 and the 5Y. The base of the pier, they're gonna have contractors. They have the porta potties. They have CNR&R. They have to clean out the restrooms. Beach maintenance and fishermen. So it's just like Shane's down there, Jared. And as we all know, council approved the new area for deputies, which is the beach and the beach roll in Del Mar. So that's great news for us. I mean, definitely, we welcome that. It's needed, so I'm really appreciative of that. And I want to, thank our public safety partners, Shane, sending his guys out for a night call out and the call that they responded to. And also, like, Jay's, it's been awesome. North Beach, you look back a few months ago and you're like, wow. And I live above 204. I walk my dog or run with my dog at least 2 times a day and go by there. And I actually took pictures last weekend, like people on the swing sets, picnic table. And it's not what you're accustomed to. But I never sent them to Andy. I was going to, but I didn't. So it's a great thing to see. And also the issue with the encampments down. We've had reported since the last meeting 17 encampments. And mainly all of those have been right at Tower 9. And Jay, we're going through the PCG distribution list, and it's, every part of the city team that's involved in that is doing their part, So it's great to see that it's been cleaned up. Jay has a couple officers down there about a week ago and issued citations when the beach was closed. So it's very active and glad to see that support. That's it for me.
Awesome. Any questions or comments?
No, great.
Need some water, right?
No, I've got my emergency.
Okay, so we'll move on to OCSD performance measures, and unfortunately Jay isn't here. And did anybody have a chance to look at these yet?
Yeah, I did. I have a comment.
Well, I've got a question on the first, the
Divided by
workload
0?
output. Well, no,
Oh.
it's like each quarter, and it's per 66,245. They use that for the population. Then they go number of calls, priority 1, track. And then, so at the end of each, like October, it says, okay, 2.7, and that's per the 66,000. You go to November, 2.3 per 66, then another one, 2.3 for December. So why is the entire quarter 7 point? They just added up the numbers. Why would does that seem like right that you add up all those numbers? Shouldn't this be an average of all those 3 months? Okay, as long as we're all in agreement. That's
Somebody
kind of
just pasted in an Excel spreadsheet and they went down.
okay. Because the rest of the columns, like if you go to the bottom, that looks like they kind of did. That you have an average of these times, and up here it should be the average of the ratio. So okay, that's what I thought. So we're instead of 7.3, it looks like it should be about 2.4 or something. Should be the total average for the second quarter. No. I'll ask.
I think it's per quarter, though.
It's for the quarter, yeah.
You gotta add those
So
up.
it is 7.3.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the population stays the same, but
Okay.
the amount of calls
So this is the total.
in that quarter.
Total that
so-
quarter.
Okay, so the bottom isn't an average. It's because this says number of group A times measured by the number of occurrences committed. Okay, so there was 2.7, and so you do add up all of those then. Okay, so it's not an average; it's a
quarter
cumulative.
overall.
Actually,
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's what I was. Yeah, because your total number for the second quarter is 6,000, and then you're still going by the same amount of population. Okay, so cumulative. All right, there you
If
go.
you jump down to
I
effectiveness.
don't agree.
Well,
So I'll just some quick math here.
well, I'm assuming they know what they're doing.
I don't.
Well, the number.
You've known me for a long time.
If you use the 6,300 total number of calls for service, and then you divide that into the population, which has stayed constant, it would be 7.3. Where before there was like 2,000 calls per service, not 6,300, so the number would be lower. So this is just a cumulative,
Right.
not an average. Okay. So, and then I'm just going to add in that the city council meeting last city council meeting, on the agenda was to hire some type of security company, and they leapfrogged that and hired four deputies, which is one new patrol area. And the idea is to make that patrol area kind of the T-zone, starting at North Beach, long and skinny, El Camino Real to the beach, down to T Street, and then east on El Camino or Del Mar. So the idea is to make that its own basic car, which in the past, that patrol area has been huge. It's been all the way up to the 5 freeway and south all the way down to the end of the city. So this is going to, kind of bisect that, divide
Are these
that.
permanent hires or is this temporary?
Well, it's for the year until we budget for next year.
Okay,
but
so
it's-
there's still a long-term plan, we've got to.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we have never gotten rid of deputies
yeah.
in the next budget, so I think that's to have it for the long term. Now, the commander happened to be there because Jay was getting his 90-day evaluation, and commander was there, and I asked him, well, when can this start? So I can start it tomorrow because we have overtime funds budget and all this, but which sounded great, but then it found out they didn't have any cars, so it's going to take a little bit of time to boot it up, but it should be soon, I think. That they'll actually have the car out there patrolling, so that's a good thing. Okay, again, Jay isn't here, any other questions for?
Well, if you go down under effectiveness, the third item down, percent change in Group A crimes,
Yeah,
83.71%. I think Captain Christian said that was due to some way they were keeping
But there's
track
a
of
new-
statistics, but that's an alarming number if that's true.
there's a new way they do stats. Now it's done by some FBI formula, so it's a national formula.
Right.
And we haven't even seen those, we haven't seen the numbers. Jay said when he got them for the first full quarter, whatever it is, which should be now, it should be soon. And we can look at
We need
those.
to review that, because then below that, there's the old Excel spreadsheet error, divide by 0.
Yeah, right.
How did that get,
Number-
somebody should take a look at that.
Number divided by
At least
0.
put TBD or NA or something in there, so.
Well, there is an exclamation mark to draw
That's part of the
attention
error,
to
I
it.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
Well, for our next meeting, hopefully Captain Christian can come in and give us some
Yeah.
clarity on, well, speaking of clarity.
Okay, so for the recorder, I guess, so we're talking on the OCSD fiscal year 2023 second quarter performance measures for police services. It's the last item under effectiveness. There's a divide by 0. If we could explain that at the next meeting. I'm saying that because Natalia's not taking notes, but we want to make it clear to whoever is the official court recorder or committee recorder.
Yeah.
Those are what was reported to the city manager, so that's what's in his drive, so.
Yeah, this is something, this is OCSD
Yeah.
thing, not city thing.
Yes, OCSD, that would just be a question to.
Right.
I should go in the minutes, though, be documented that I raised that question. That he should, otherwise he won't know what the question is.
Okay,
That's all, it just,
yeah, so the minutes can just reflect
yeah.
whatever changes you want to make, but as far as actually answering this question, you just reach out to Captain Christian.
Yeah, if he were here, that's what
Directly.
we're
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not
doing.
here, though, that's the thing.
Right.
So you're saying the mechanism, just email him or text him?
Yeah, if you have a question and if you want to bring it up during a meeting for everybody's edification, that's fine, but if you just have a question about something, you can just reach out to him directly and just ask.
Well, we're reviewing this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. New business, I show none. Unfinished business, the annual work plan. So, is there anything, besides reviewing or updates, is there anything on this work plan that we have?
Yeah, let me go to my presentation.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Go to the first slide.
Sure.
I think we're under the communication disaster preparedness. Now, Nick has been working this and with Kyle Kroger. Now, let's see, that's, okay. Now, I need to go to the communication disaster preparedness slide, if it's there someplace. There it is, okay. So those are the four things that Nick has been working on. And I got information from Kyle Kroger, right, about the Red Cross Emergency Center. He basically is saying they're doing a formal assessment down at the community center down by the library. And Nick said he's talking with Dave Adams, who's the Red Cross representative, to see where they are. So that work is in progress. The emergency food supply and distribution is called Abound Food Care. That was for the food locker down there at the emergency operating center. Apparently that is in abeyance now because the city council, when that was presented, had some questions about it. So I believe they want to talk with the Abound personnel more about that. There was some confusion about exactly what the mission was of that in terms of food. So, or they're going to wait until the fifth council member is in place before they make a decision on that.
Well, it got tabled because Councilmember Cabral brought up and we didn't go over any of this. We were just looking at dirt when we originally, said it was a good idea. He seems to have some information that we thought that they just rotated the food once a year or something, and what they did with it, who knows. He has some information he wants to look into that says that, and actually it was confirmed by the lady who was there from Abound, that they perhaps give the food to FAM. And then there was a question, well, how often does that happen? And he has some information that says they do this every month or whatever. They go in there and take food, and he just wants, I think, figure out what the mechanism for that is. And so they tabled it, and he's doing some further research. So.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, my understanding was it was emergency food supply for the residents of the city, not for the homeless or for families.
Well, they have to get rid of the food somehow. I think that's the issue.
Exactly.
And I think Victor's concern is once a month, are they going to open up the gates to the city yard and bring people in and give them food, which I don't believe is the mechanism, but he just wants it clarified.
Well, that's good. Okay, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, the other one, the wireless priority system, that was basically for first responders. The home security.
Okay.
that
You don't
home
have them
security
in the
system.
order, so I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Just give me a second. Which slide do you want now? This one?
No, same one. No, it's the
Yeah, they were just on items 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
that was it. Then the wireless priority service, that was a service by home security agency of the United States. It lets these gentlemen with your cell phones have priority over any other call, particularly after a disaster, not so much, but afterwards. And Kyle is going to look into that. And because we were recommending that the city staff, those people that are involved in emergency activities here, especially again at post-disaster, should have that capability because their calls are important. The city council members, code enforcement people, whoever else, as well as law enforcement, fire, and ocean safety. So
It's
that
a public meeting, you gotta leave the door open. At least leave it propped open a little bit. Sorry.
I just like George Gregory's legs walk by.
So the takeaway there is we need to talk to Kyle again so he understands what we're trying to get at. And the code enforcement, you might want to think about taking that up with Kyle since you are likely to benefit, Danielle, from that. I don't know.
So I talked with Mr. Koger about this. This is a system. These are systems that the city has been on in the past. I don't know if it's how actively current it is, but that's something he is looking at, and that's Public Works can, and with IT, can take care of this without any committee or council action. It's something that they're going to.
There's nobody that has the point of contact, has the authority though to actually approve people here in the city to have that capability. That person that did it left the city, so Kyle seemed to be the only one that was left that might possibly have the
Yes, it was
authority
the
to do it.
deputy
Yeah.
public works director was the one that was overseeing that in the past.
Right.
That authority would easily fall under the public works director.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one is Gets. That's the same thing, but it's for regular telephones, so it's an option. Okay. So that's it, Rick, on communication disaster preparedness.
Okay, did you have something else for e-bikes or something?
Well, if we get the e-bikes, it's on the list down here.
Yeah,
Well,
well-
under well, I've got a few things, but
Why don't you just go ahead and get it all out?
They're out of order, so which slide do you want me to go ahead and?
well, go back. Well, it's the most important one I'd like to talk about, I guess, is technology review,
Okay.
because it has to do with this issue at North Beach and in the city. It should be up front. It's the second,
Yeah.
second slide.
Right here, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not too long ago, there was an emergency meeting city council had upstairs to discuss what could be done with North Beach, the homeless problem. And there was a lot of things, and one of the things that was said was that, well, there are video cameras down there to monitor the area like there are in parks and beaches and so forth. And Gene James said, well, they're worthless. And I think, frankly, he was probably right, that they are worthless. But what he didn't know was technology has expanded by leaps and bounds on what security cameras can do. They're basically, like I got it there, what you would like is, and the city has done, I guess they got 4 more patrol people down there, because they have eyes, they have ears, they can talk to the person, and interact. This technology that I'm talking about, mobile security systems, is basically, it has the eyes, it has the ears, it can talk, it has automated object identification, and it's been proven on over 800,000 sites across the United States. And it's proven effective for dealing with problems like homeless issues, like Maxburg Plaza Park. It would be perfect for the RV. Neighborhood watch folks could probably, if you had one of these gadgets, take it out to the area where people are complaining about people congregating and doing things and so forth. But so the last month, what we had LiveView Technologies here, LVT. They gave a virtual demonstration of a product. We had Covert Law Enforcement. They also came here and had a demonstration, and Mike was here. Danielle, I think you were and both Adam were at the virtual meeting with LiveView Technologies. If I
We were here
recall
for
correctly,
the
you saw that.
COVID one as
So
well.
you were there, yeah.
For both.
I'll get to what they can do in a minute here, but this is just kind of a top level summary.
Can I ask you just a quick question?
Yeah,
Is that the units that they use there?
those, the mobile surveillance units are the 2 guys shown in the bottom.
And then there's a,
And the top, the head, the smart, the visual part, the speakers, the infrared detector, are all these, and these are put on these poles.
And those are
Solar-
just sitting in the parking lot?
Yeah, that's where, if it's wherever you want to put them, they're mobile. Takes about 10 minutes to set
Did
up.
they talk about the incidents of vandalism or
Yes,
just throwing
they
a
have
blanket over the
Well, they can operate for up to 4 or 5 days without, sunlight, being charged at full battery. But they are self-protected. It can detect when people are starting to monkey around with them.
Oh.
And the cameras will go down, take pictures of anybody doing it. So, and let's see, well, let me get through this chart first. So, the cost for renting 2 of these, and Mike and I thought maybe 2 down at North Beach, or 1 at North Beach, and then 1 either there or move it around, or RV parking or Maxburg Park. And then this one, if you go down to Maxburg Plaza Park, right atop the restroom, there is a current camera. You could put one of these smart ones right there, and it could see that whole area. And it has a capability of detecting individuals doing things and so forth. So, and the vision is so much better than the human eyeball. It's unbelievable what it can do. And it can automatically detect, and then it reports back to a user on a mobile phone or dispatcher, whoever it is, hey, we just picked something up, this is an issue. I broadcast it over them. I said, get out of here. You're not supposed to be here. It's after hours. They didn't move. Then you send out a person. But anyway, the cost for these systems for a year is I got a quote from them for $92,000, which is very inexpensive compared to, hiring patrol officers or security or whatever. And, okay, let's see. Okay, that was that point. They also said they would be happy to supply a demonstration unit for a week or two just to give it a try, kick the tires, so to speak. And then I'm gonna make a recommendation that the city council really should consider something like this for the long-term plan. For the short term, maybe not, but certainly for the short term, getting one just for demo purposes and letting people use it here and see how it works would be a good idea. Okay, next slide.
Right behind you.
Oh.
So I don't have, so do you wanna go to this?
Just the next slide, yeah.
Okay. And I can go back here.
You can't read this, so probably it's a little difficult, but again, it's basically a human being there. It's got a lot of intelligence, and it records all the data. It's available after the fact. You can go back, and it's a real-time system. So again, the bottom line, it's a cost-effective as compared to, I think, any other of these solutions that the city manager, Andy Hall, has been looking at. Okay, the next slide.
Sure, just take the mouse and click the next
The
one.
mouse and click it.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Go down to the next one under
You're
the,
blocking my Bluetooth over here. There you go. Very good.
the one under the red. I think you have to move the mouse
There
to
you
the
go.
next slide.
Oh, you don't have it
On the left side, go all the way down.
No, go down.
Go down. Here.
Well, we're not in it, no, I want to get the slideshow.
Oh,
Yeah, let's get the slideshow here.
Well, we were switching directions, so all the slides are out of order, so I had to kind
Let's
of.
sit back here.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
You wanna go back?
Okay, this one is a little, you can see a little bit better on. These are all the,
Okay, Charlie,
yeah,
time out.
you,
We have public comment.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Who's watching the video surveillance 24/7?
it's really, that's an excellent question, You have your choice. You can have code enforcement people here in the city do it. You can have our sheriff department dispatch look at it. You can have Rod down there at his office on the beach look at it. Danielle can be looking at it. Anybody can basically look at it that has a phone or connected to the internet. So, yeah. Did that answer your question?
Well, and also, this records, all right, and we have access to 3 days, or we get extra storage, and it'll record for 30 days, which will also help in crime prosecution, when the sheriffs can pull it up and take it to court.
Got it.
So,
Yeah, they showed us a video where there was some young men pulled into a parking lot and it was dark because these things can see in the dark. Had AK-15s or whatever they are out there, and this identified them. And it said, in a booming voice said, "You are not authorized to be in this facility. The law enforcement is on the way." And you should have seen those guys hightail it out of there. They took the guns, got in their car, and went. So the impact here on, say, people of North Beach might be more psychologically, because of the red and blue lights are flashing up there. They know they're being watched. It's like, oh yeah, the police are really seeing what's going on. Yeah, go ahead.
and also, these have the ability to, if we had one at North Beach and there's some homes right there across from Ole Hansen, we can block that out, where it does not record anything that's in those homes. So we can give the homeowners, do you want us to watch your house or not watch your house?
Right.
So it has great technology.
Brings down the concern of like alarm or code fatigue, like you would see in a hospital where nobody's really watching the surveillance video anymore, nobody's listening
Well,
to the alarm anymore.
Yeah.
With all these extra.
And we don't have to watch it. If something happens,
That's right.
we go back and
It's
look at
a
it.
notification of something. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's autonomous. It makes a decision that there's something going on, and it'll notify.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked with the police chief over at Henderson, Nevada, and they have 3 of the units. And I talked to his deputy who was responsible. He was very positive about how they use it. And the Nevada Metropolitan Police has like 7 or 8 of them. So I mean, it's definitely, the police believe that it's useful. Yeah.
Well, and also, they did one demonstration where they panned up to a hilltop that was a little over a quarter mile away, and you could tell it was a Ford F-150, and there was a guy opening the door of a little shed. So,
Yeah, I
Pretty
read
big
the
camera.
license plate number, yeah, so the visual is good. Next slide, please. Okay, let's see. Okay, these are the features that I think sell the system to the system to the city council. You know, because it's automatic. It's got a lot of real smart software. I think down the road probably it could even have facial recognition at some point if you really wanted something like that. But we saw infrared tracking of individuals trying to get over fences at night, which is very, very difficult for even a human being to do at night. These lights on top, that's what struck me when I was over in Henderson. You go out to the park at night and the red and blue lights are like, well, you know you're being watched. So I think that's pretty effective. It only takes about 10 minutes to set it up and move it. So I think even our senior patrol guys could probably handle this, move it around like they do with those radar speed things. It works on the internet through AT&T or the Verizon 5G network, and that comes as part of the system. You mentioned vandalism. It had a number of features that are anti-vandalism. They only lease it. They don't sell the equipment, which is good. It's not bad, because that means any maintenance or any breakdowns, they take care of it and they update it automatically. And again, the cost really is a lot less than what I thought they were going to do for the private security. And I know it's a lot less probably than 4 additional patrol officers for full-time operation. And again, it's just a very unique piece of equipment that can be used by a lot of not only the sheriff's, code enforcement. I forgot you, Rod, put you on here.
We never forget you, Rod.
So you would go almost like an app, and you'd have to have a login. You'd have to be given access to do this, and whoever was given access could monitor.
Exactly, right. Yeah. But it's more than monitor. I mean, this is doing the work, and it's kind of telling you, we got a problem here, we maybe need some help. Next slide. Okay. Then this was I was gonna make a motion about this a little bit later, but I wanted to just go through some of those details. Are there any, and I asked Shane and Rod, I sent you the charts and asked them what they thought about this equipment as far from your point of view. So you guys, can you give us some input on these devices? If you've had experience with them, or
Yeah, from fire side, it's more, I think, probably enforcement or law side. I think for this, I haven't had any experience with them. Obviously, cameras are good when there's fires because sometimes they can catch arsonists, but they also, But I truly don't have any experience with it. I tried to look into it, and we've never utilized anything like that.
Well, Cal Fire is using just the video cameras. They're putting them out.
In rural areas, I can see that.
Yeah.
Arsonists out.
We have
Catch
cameras.
But that's
arsonists,
covert.
We do have those cameras that they're all
Little different
You don't
application.
watch wildland fires, but not throughout cities. Really,
Yeah.
per se.
Does this thing float by any chance?
I can speak on it. I mean, I think earlier you had said that Gene said that the cameras that we do have are not good. I can
Not as
speak-
effective.
I can speak differently to those. We have great cameras. IT does an awesome job. We have 8 or 9 cameras that stretch from North Beach, from the pier, several at the pier, on the east side of the tracks at the pier, down at T Street, a couple down there that you can go down to Lost Winds, and they're very effective. You can zoom right in. Ours, our internal policy is we're not scanning the beach. That's just on water. So if you go into our headquarters, we have 3 display boards, and certain ones are recording all the time. So IT has access to that, but not all of them are recording. You can record if you're on something like an emergency that you need to record, but we use it, if there's anything emergency, whether it's on the beach or in the water, and as a dispatcher or watch commander, you're putting eyes on it with the camera. You can zoom in and kind of see what other additional resources you need or pull off. So
Hopefully.
I don't see the need for something more like that. I had sent your email. At first I didn't know if it was a spam because when you sent the attachments, I think I got something from another email that was spam a month ago or so that had to go. So I was like a little bit reluctant.
Oh,
to
that's
open
right,
it up.
yeah, they were on my account, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, oops,
Oh, yeah.
forgot to send this to you. And I was like, attachments, I'm not sure about this. But I'm really stoked with our cameras that we have. Sometimes they go down. We're getting a few new ones at the base of the pier and also on our Zero Tower. And we can basically see everywhere on the beach.
What do you do, the question I would have is, what do you do at night when nobody's there and there's people on the beach that shouldn't be there?
Well,
You know, after 10 o'clock?
we work, the beach is closed at midnight to 4. But we are open till sunset. So right now we're closing at 8:30, and that responsibility goes over to the sheriff's department.
That's, yeah, in other words, you're not there at night to
Correct.
watch those cameras. Yeah,
Correct.
okay.
Now, if there's something that's, a night call out, like on May 4th, then, the sheriffs will call us and start with me and then work their way down and send resources to a call.
Yeah, if the sheriffs happen to be patrolling down there, I guess, but yeah, that's what we're trying to.
If you get a 911 call, so
Oh, yeah.
it's connected to us, it's water related, then they're gonna go to Marine Safety and start with me and then go.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't, rescues I understand. I was thinking more just ordinances that if people are drinking on the beach or something. They're just not supposed to be there from 10 to 4 in the morning. And we want to stop that because that's part of the reason we had that emergency meeting, yeah. And it wasn't me that said cameras are worthless. Gene James did.
Well, and,
Yeah.
let me clarify. There is no empirical evidence that security cameras deter violent crime.
No, not at all. Right.
So he should have elaborated. on
I
that.
understand.
For this kind of thing, they certainly are effective.
And there's the cameras that we do have, like I was saying, I sent your email to IT, and there's been a lot of requests to Pure Pride Foundation and other committees or whatnot. It has something to do with technology, and I just had this discussion about a week and a half ago with the IT manager, and he's like, they need to include me on this, so that's why I forwarded that email to him so he would be aware of what's in the works, and he's the expert in that area. And so I asked, sent to him, I haven't heard back from him if you had any input.
I've spoken with him a couple times on this. So we've got some upgrades that we're making to our own camera system. I don't think the issue is really about surveillance. I have access to the cameras. I have staff we have staff that's working until 1 a.m. Nobody's watching the cameras. We don't have the staff to sit in a room and watch these cameras.
They are during the day. Like those cameras are all.
After
Those
code.
cameras are meant for.
I'm not talking about lifeguards.
We're talking about code.
So just for code and even for PD, nobody has this time to just sit and watch the cameras. So from a response to an incident issue, whether it's these cameras or other ones that would pick up valuable information, that's one thing. But the other thing is, our cameras are not necessarily hidden, but people just wouldn't really notice what they are or that they're there. And I think what you're getting at with these is something that's one of these trailers I think was 22 feet tall was the boom length,
Right.
with red and blue lights flashing if somebody came within a set.
No, they're on. They're on. Not if somebody just comes up.
That's the difference I think between what the city currently has and what you're looking at here.
These
are
can be
yours
moved
recording?
Also, they could be
And
mission
they're
based.
mobile as well.
They're
yeah.
very loud, so I don't know if you've gone out to a Lowe's parking lot when these things are going off. You're going to get complaints from the residents if these are on like a circuit on a scheduled repeat. They're very loud.
No. These things, when somebody comes up to them, they will say something, to protect them. All right, and you can also, like at North Beach, we can program them to at 10 o'clock at night say you're not allowed on the beach now. Okay. My question with your cameras, are they recording?
So not all of them do, but they do. I will say one of the other differences is we just have PTZ cameras primarily. Some of these had 360-degree cameras, which that's actually a nice feature.
And
But
4K.
I've used the cameras a ton of times to set a new like home location for them and just hit record. And then like we had complaints about homeless people being dropped off by the pier at between like 6 p.m. and 11 p.m.
The white van.
The white vans.
The
So I
mystery
spent
van.
probably 25 hours reviewing that footage over like a 2-month period. Never saw anything.
Well, also, you've got a camera up on Ole Hansen, and I would
Yeah.
love at your leisure to be able to see what that camera can see. All right, and one of these, if we either put that up on the top of Ole Hansen, could watch all of North Beach. All right, 24/7, or at the beginning of the beach trail. All right, on the left-hand side, we've got one of the light poles. If we could extend that up and put one up there, all right, we can watch all of North Beach. And
There's one on top of the concession and on the backside of Ole Hansen that you're referring to. So you can pretty much see almost the entire beach at North Beach and to the point. But you can't see where the mural is from the one on top of the concession. But if you use Ole Hansen, you can see that part.
Those are infrared cameras?
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
no, but they do.
But
I
they're
mean, when it's
good
dark,
light.
it is a little bit light. Like
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like
and
it's not
what's the
even dark yet.
resolution like?
It's awesome.
It's
Is it?
great. Yeah,
Okay, great.
It's great. As far as additional cameras, we've looked at other camera locations in the North Beach parking lot and along the trailhead. A new pole and electricity would need to be run to that location. The light poles that have the more decorative light poles
Right.
don't have the right kind of power for utilizing these types of cameras.
Well, these also, if we utilize one that we're setting up high, it'll come with its own solar panel and battery to, so we don't have to run power to it. But my thing is, I love that Ole Hansen because we can watch the entire, the train station, we can watch the beach, all right? And again, we've never been able to see those. We didn't even, until you brought it up and you said there's one on Ole Hansen. I never even looked for it.
Yeah.
And it was a great location for it.
Yeah, no, we've
Yeah.
got them around town.
There's
I
three of them
mean,
on
this
that
is not
tour.
publicly available information because it deals with.
I think,
rather
to cut this short,
sensitive
because Rick wants to get this over, but I think what I hear you say, you really can't observe what's going on at night in the city and the public areas, number one. Number two, this is autonomous. These are smart devices. These are robots. They replace basically, you wouldn't have had to spend 20 hours out there looking over things. This would have told you somebody was out there and alerted you to the fact, then you could have done it.
Okay,
And thirdly, Daniel's point of view, I'm pretty sure the city council, instead of having a meeting of 100 people up there, vehemently yelling about being attacked, afraid for their kids, with homeless people, they would love to hear somebody complain about red and blue lights flashing in their bedroom
Well,
window at night.
we-
I really think, that's one of the psychological aspects, impact of this on those kinds of problems is really.
At this point, I mean, you want to agendize it for the next meeting?
Would you guys, would it benefit if we invited the IT manager, Brian Brower, to come and talk about this?
That's what I'm saying. Why don't we
camera system?
Why don't we agendize this so we can really look at it, and Brian would be a great one to come.
Yeah.
Jay will be here then, so we can have input about this. I think we should agendize it, and if it comes out that we should recommend the city council look at it, that's what we'll
Well,
do.
this is the long term, well, at least up to now, is the
You
long term.
want to make a motion, Charlie,
Well,
to agendize this?
that's fine. I'm just wondering, the one company did offer to loan us one for a week or so. but-
Still, we got to agendize
We got
it
a
to
couple
talk
of
about
months,
all
right?
this. This-
Yeah.
I really want to see, what we can see now.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we can get the same view I want to get out of this from your camera that's up there, then we don't need to spend the money.
Yeah.
All right, I'm all for it.
So that-
And then if we're watching North Beach, I want to make sure that camera's recording and we're saving it for at least 30 days.
Do we have a motion? If we don't,
Well,
then
do we have to make a motion to adjourn?
if you want to put it on the agenda, you have to make a motion.
I will move that we put the topic of autonomous security cameras for use in the city for law enforcement, code enforcement, and other departments on the agenda for next month.
Okay, well, I would suggest that we have Brian if he's available, and even if you wanted to contact the person that did this, if they want to come to answer questions or whatever, that would be probably a good idea. And then, so, we don't need a staff report, I don't think, so I think, I'll second it. First by Charlie, all in favor, aye. Okay, there you go. All right.
Good enough, okay.
And Adam, if possible, could somebody give me a call and invite me over just to take a look at that at some point?
The cameras that we have now?
Cameras that we have now?
Just to see what they see.
Yeah.
That camera's currently down.
Yeah, that camera's currently down. That's one of the ones that's gonna be replaced, so. But we could find other cameras. Well,
You can come down to headquarters anytime you want.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
You can come down tomorrow.
yeah,
Whatever it is.
I mean, I show you my office.
I don't have access or invite yet.
I think the best thing is just go down and have Rod show you.
Cool.
I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, they've got
Just
some
like-
good screens
Yeah.
for watching.
Okay.
See, Charlie and I were doing this, we had no idea that those, we looked at some of those cameras and they look, like they've been through a war. But if they're working, that's all that counts.
Any other presentations on topics that you
Yeah,
want to do?
go to another slide, I think. We want to go down to, what is it? E-bike? Yeah, e-bike, okay. All right. Let's see, Assembly Building, you got an email, and I got the same from one of our residents complaining about e-bikes on
Up on the trails by Rancho San Clemente.
which is a paved trail, which really is not a trail in my mind. It's
Duncan.
the city maintenance people take their trucks up there,
Or something.
and,
As soon as I
work on
go,
the
if we don't
water
go on, I
storage
want
tanks.
to kind of stretch
But
it.
anyway,
I'm assuming we'll do that. I talked to him.
All right.
I'm sorry.
oh, it's okay. So back to this there's a lot of assembly bills out there. 1909, 1188, 1146, 2028. That are the state of California is addressing e-bikes. 46 is one where the California Highway Patrol has been directed to come up with an e-bike safety program, rules and regulations, and it said due out September 2023. I've tried 3 times to talk to the assemblywoman on this, but their staff has not responded. Last time I talked to them, they said they'd get back to me in 30 minutes, and it's been about a week now, so I don't think it's any help. I stopped by the California Highway Patrol office this afternoon. I got a number up in Sacramento for the headquarters. I'm going to find out, because I want to find out what the status is of that. But there's another, 1909 is called the Bicycle Omnibus Bill, and it was signed by Governor Newsom in September 16th of 2022. That's pretty empowering for cities. It allows them to do an awful lot of regulation of e-bikes that I wasn't aware of. So we need to look at that a little bit more. And then finally, in respect to Mr. I forget his last name, Jay, I think, his first name, about his problem. The city of Carlsbad is the only city I know that actually addressed e-bikes on trails. And their code, it was ordinance 10.56.020 C1. Basically, e-bike user of any or similar motorized vehicle must get off the bike on trails less than 5 foot wide when they are within 50 feet of a pedestrian or horseback rider. And that was effective in May of 2022. That kind of makes
cool.
sense for our trails, because these e-bikes, especially the trail bikes, they cost $8,000 or more. You got a lot of people here that really use the trails and are effective. And I think most of them probably are courteous and are not a threat. But he is right. There are a few that have problems. If the city passed some kind of ordinance like this, it would allow code enforcement and law enforcement to actually then go up there and enforce that and keep an eye on what's going on those trails. And that might help resolve his
Are we
concern.
talking like the Ridgeline Trail?
Yes.
Trails.
All the trails that he
Those would have to be enforced by OCSD. code rangers do not have the staffing or the equipment to do any type of
I emailed that guy.
vehicle pullover.
Yeah.
And they're already banned.
No, not on
those
not
trails?
on inland trails. That was at first when it went to council. That was a ban on all trails.
Yeah.
Then they left the inland
Public
trails
They left the
open.
inland trails.
Public input swayed it to council, and they decided.
I emailed that guy back and said I talked to Captain Christian. They do actually have an off-road team that can come down and work problems like that, and we'll see if if he can make that
That'd be
happen.
a good idea.
Yeah, on the
Just
weekends
say
they could go down there and do that. So there is a resource. We just have to see if we can make it happen.
Okay, any more charts?
Would you like me to go
No,
get you some water?
No, it's just getting over this cold. It's ridiculous. It takes forever.
It's been a rough one.
Oh,
Yeah.
bummer. Chris Duncan just said I'm well down the list, so I can stay there and enjoy the rest of this meeting. See, I never win anything. Nothing.
I'm not sure if you're appointed, that's a win.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. I'd rather just stay here with you guys. Oh, by the way, did you put your application in for your reappointment?
I'm still on the fence on that.
Well, wait, wasn't yesterday like the last day?
That was the 25th.
Was it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, maybe so. I thought.
Something here.
Hmm?
Something here.
I am getting to be an old man, and I would like to see some younger people get on this position. I really would.
That's why
I'm
we brought
willing.
Mike on.
I did recommend to one gentleman that I know to submit an
There are a couple of applications in, new people. Okay, I'm sorry. Now we go.
Charlie, come on. Break.
Is that it for the whole thing?
Yeah.
That was the last line.
Okay. So there's no other. You don't have any other.
No, that's from Nick, Lee, and Scott.
Okay. All right. So let's go down.
Other gentleman here.
We can just go ahead and do the updates then. Other updates. You did the communication disaster preparedness, homeless and best management practices. We're going to have nothing. Legislative review. Nothing that really relates to public safety. Although there's some interesting. Have you looked at Assembly Bill 7 at all about the housing element? And it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, all the housing bills are being scrutinized.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Okay, Neighborhood Watch. One update I can't give you is Ryan. I told you he did a big meeting up in Talega, right? A big community meeting. Yeah, he's
doing one at our complex tonight.
that guy's awesome.
All over it.
Yeah, he is. So when we're feeding him some information, he contacts the people and he gets out and he gets on it. So
We couldn't have gotten a better guy.
no, absolutely. It's really, really nice. Statistical information and review. That's Nick's thing. Is that your thing too, Charlie? Are you
No,
on
that's Scott and Nick.
Scott and Nick. Okay, good. There's
I
nothing.
did that last year.
Human trafficking. I did finally get in touch with Brenda Wells and asked her, "Do you want us to start doing something about plaques or whatever?" And she said, "Yes." How much money did we have? And I said, "Well, we probably got enough to make a couple of plaques. I don't know.
$3,500.
Yeah, I didn't tell her specifically, but I said I think we can kind of cover a couple of plaques. So she connected. Who was her assistant? I can't think of her name now. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, she reached out, and so we're supposed to get together, and she was going to make a list of people that we should acknowledge. So hopefully by next meeting we'll have that information. E-bike, bicycle, and traffic safety. I guess that was your spiel on that. Technology and review. We had that. And review of urgent matters. There is none. So if there's nothing else, we'll go to reports. Police services is not here. Fire services, Shane?
Let's see, from fire, just we've been tracking e-bike incidents, only one incident since last month, so
Oh.
that's pretty good as far as any of that have been reported, obviously, of accidents. We did have a pretty good, not good, but traffic accident on El Camino Real a few weeks ago with a pool truck essentially hit a tree and fell over and dumped all its pool chemicals and stuff, so we had to call hazmat.
All right, hazmat call.
But he ended up being okay. He got taken as a trauma, but he was okay and no other injuries. The Casa Monica incident, obviously, we had our Rod was actually on it, letting us know that was kind of happening in real time, which was really good. So we were able to get our USAR folks out there to help the city just evaluate the buildings, and so it was good working with everybody on that. We did have a fatal fire right up here in Rancho San Clemente a couple of weeks back, which was unfortunate. Just one person passed away in that fire. And then we're just still working through, it's drowning prevention time for us as well. Glad you got a proclamation. Did you tease me at the thing?
Yeah, it's the only one, you didn't get one this time,
Yeah,
jeez.
I know, it's, I had to take a
First said
month
it was
off.
nice to see that Shane wasn't here.
I know.
That's good, that's good. But yeah, we have drowning prevention still going on with that, and I brought some information if you guys want anything on the drowning prevention, and then we're starting to get our 4th of July fireworks safety information out and pushing that out to the public too, so just getting people ready for the summertime coming, and that's really all I have.
So I think the sheriff's department's still investigating that house fire.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, our investigators are
Bless
working
you.
with them to figure out the cause and what
Okay.
the story was there.
All right. Marine safety. I know I gave you a bunch of time early because I thought I'd have to bail. So.
I actually gave it all right there.
Okay, very good. Mike, you have anything?
Nada. I just want to thank you guys for being here and both of you, all three of you. Thank you.
Charlie?
Well, I appreciate all the feedback from you, Jim, on the vast technology here. Hopefully, the city council will take a look at it at some point and evaluate its effectiveness versus the cost benefit, other solutions to the problem. And Natanya, thanks for putting out all the information to us.
You're on the
Patient
super
young
quick
lady.
responses.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Join us.
Okay, yeah, well, our next meeting, I guess whatever our next public safety committee looks like, we will know at the next meeting. So whatever happens, happens. So that'll be very, very exciting. So I look forward to seeing what that looks like and who ends up on it. So city staff.
No updates.
Happy to be here. This is a great meeting, and I'm learning a lot from you all. We don't really we have a lot of cases going on, but nothing that would directly pertain to what we're discussing. But I'm happy to help in any way I can. Just let me know if you need something.
Do you ever get e-bike complaints through the website, city website?
No.
Because there is that place.
So that, like Adam was kind of stating, anything like that would go more towards the sheriff's department because we wouldn't be able to do much. We don't have off-road bikes. It just wouldn't be something that we could really enforce. So that would most likely get routed to the sheriffs. We might catch wind of it, or somebody might send in a complaint thinking they were reaching city staff or to the sheriffs that we could help route that complaint. But Adam, do you know of any e-bike type things?
We'll get complaints about e-bikes we'll get complaints from time to time kind of everywhere, but mostly in the past they tend to be on the Ridgeline Trail, the two big lots that are still vacant in the Rancho San Clemente Business Park. That's basically a dirt pump track just built into that area. But all of those get forwarded to OCSD to deal with. I would say the number of complaints that we've received has gone down dramatically related to e-bikes. And I don't know if it's just everybody that was driving recklessly has injured themselves so horribly that they've learned their lesson, or it's become less of an issue. Parents maybe might be a little bit more informed before
Well,
they get there.
E-bike just
E-bike just went by. I don't know if it was being
Yeah,
ridden or
so
what.
I saw Brian, they've got some e-bikes. They had some e-bikes. He was
Right.
walking them out.
Yeah.
Like one of the last meetings I was in this room in. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's right. The meeting we had
Yeah,
with the cameras.
exactly. And they were walking them out. So I don't.
Yeah,
One of them did have a
Those
duck wheel.
didn't look like police issue vehicles. So
Oh,
who knows?
and when school's out, it's gonna it's gonna crop up more too. I
Absolutely.
mean, as soon as school went into session in September, e-bike complaints went way down. Yeah, there's another one, holy cow.
Yeah, maybe Ryan.
Got a whole,
Big one.
whole patrol of them. So, okay, anything else from staff? What's that?
I have one other
Okay.
question. Do we know who is coordinating the shredding event on the 10th?
If that's a city-sponsored event, that would be environmental programs. Dana McIntosh is usually involved. Is that?
Yeah, I want to ask.
Flyer out to you all?
Oh no, I want to ask if Dana's if Ryan and I can attend there and hand out neighborhood watch literature while people are going through the shredding.
Absolutely.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
And do we have the literature to to hand out?
I think he and I are going to develop. it.
Okay, because if it's, you better get that going if it's the 10th.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to talk to him tonight.
Okay, very good.
So, I mean, that's just, we have a captive audience.
Right. So,
Good timing.
Natanya, can you send Michael Dana's contact info? You can just reach out to her. She's in our environmental programs and utilities. She oversees those events.
Oh, and that reminds me, can you get Mike a name badge?
We can do name badges.
Okay.
And do we have an e-waste function here in the city?
Yes.
Where somebody
do,
can turn
but-
in printers, monitors?
Most of those events are actually like more of a private company, and the city's aware of those events, but they're not. It's not quite the city partnered event that the shredding events are.
Okay.
But yeah, we do have those recycling events from time to time.
I thought he was referring within the city, like divisions, like they pick up our electronic.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were asking about like a shredding event.
Well, I just have a printer and a couple of things I want to get rid of, and
You can do that at off of La Plata.
Oh, yeah, up at the
Yeah,
dump.
but
It's
check it.
super easy.
You just drive
through.
right in, you didn't even get
go
out
to
of
the
your car.
right, you drive right through, you drop it off, and you go. You
Oh,
don't have
really?
to go pay the
oh, cool.
$20.
Okay, thank you.
They don't even-
And paint. Old paint, they take,
All your chemicals.
don't even have to get out of the car. You
No.
just, you open the trunk and they take it.
Would you entertain a motion to adjourn at this point, or you got something?
No, I have nothing. If you want to make the motion and tell us when we're supposed to be back and where.
Okay, I move that we adjourn this meeting. The next meeting will be in the council chambers at City Hall, June 27th, 2023, at 3:00 p.m.
Second, all in favor?